What was that?
My God, I'd forgotten.
I know that all kids, my kids, are fascinated by dinosaurs.
You know what this is?
I think it's knowing that there were these things that used to walk the earth, these 50-foot long giant lizards. That in itself is fascinating.
My job, at least on Jurassic Park 3, started very early when they were just trying to get the idea of the movie. And for the first time, I actually got to come up with some of the animals, and we wanted something different. Tyrannosaurus Rex had sort of been in charge of the first two movies. This time we wanted something that was actually going to replace T-Rex, and so we went after a dinosaur that literally could cause an extinction on the island. The Spinosaurus is and was the biggest meat-eating dinosaur that ever lived.
Amanda! T-Rex don't stand a chance. Spinosaurus is the guy on the block from this point on.
We don't know how ferocious any dinosaur really was. All we have are their skeletons, but we do know from the skeletons that we found that Spinosaurus, the biggest one that has been found, had a skull that was 8 feet long and a body that was about 60 feet long. So if we sort of scale the ferocious factor based on the length of the animal, there was nothing in this world that has ever lived on this planet that could match an animal basically the size of a whale walking around eating things. I would say that Spinosaurus is definitely more ferocious and nastier than T-Rex. My hypothesis is that T-Rex was actually a scavenger rather than a killer, rather than a predator. And we see that in this movie more than we see it in the other ones. Spinosaurus is really the predatory animal here that actually goes after T-Rex.
Mom?
Oh my God.
What is it?
It's a bird cage.
I think the audience for a long time has been hoping that we would bring flying dinosaurs into this genre, and we had a perfect opportunity to do that with this.
With the Pteranodons, we had the challenge of trying to figure out how they'd fly in open canyons and in confined areas. And we know, talking to Jack and some of the paleontologists here at Berkeley, that they were mainly gliders. They rode the wind currents. They didn't do a lot of powered flight. The nearest existing animal today that we could compare it to would probably be the albatross, which is a very stiff-winged bird that rides the ocean currents. We knew in this movie there were times when we were in very confined areas, so we sort of got into a little bit of a bat flight in places. But the mandate was sort of, we want these dinosaurs to be like real animals. And so we stuck very true to what scientists believed they were as far as their movement and behavior.
As a kid, you know, when you're fascinated with dinosaurs, there was something about those big flying dinosaurs that was so scary and spooky and weird that they really catch the imagination.
Velociraptor is back in Jurassic Park 3, but in a way we've never seen it. There are subtle changes.
Science continues to progress, and every year we discover new things. And now we have pretty good skulls of Velociraptor, and we know that it really looks different. So the skull has actually been changed to fit what we know about the animal. And we also recently have found evidence that velociraptors had feathers. And so we've sort of incorporated that in the new look of Velociraptor. I really have been working through the whole process to get as many accurate things into the movie as possible.
They actually set a trap.
I've done a lot of CAT scan work on dinosaur skulls, so we know that some dinosaurs actually could vocalize. And so we've gotten some of that research into this movie.
He's calling for help.
A lot of the old guys are back. The brachiosaurs are back from the last movie. stegosaurs, both of the hadrosaurs. We've got Corythosaurus and Parasaurolophus. Corythosaurus is new to this movie. And we also slipped in a new dinosaur, Ankylosaurus, where he's got this plated armor on his back, so it was in a different kind of look, something we hadn't seen in the other Jurassic movies.
I look at what we've done and say that we have sort of crossed the fine line and blurred the theatricality of movies with the education of history and the aspect of museum-type education. When you go in to see Jurassic Park and you see a new dinosaur, you're getting a certain amount of knowledge that you didn't have, so there's something to be learned by watching these movies.
That's the great thing about the movie. You can bring back dinosaurs, you can put them in a park, as long as you do it in a movie.